Welcome to Soulistic Healing with Christine Mendes. This is a podcast focused on becoming a whole and complete person. Healing yourself is the key to excelling in every other area of your life. When you learn to do that, you unlock the door to endless potential. Growing up is difficult. I say that as an adult, as somebody who has gone through a lot, who has grown a lot, because when I say growing up, I'm not just referring to your age, I'm referring to every part of your life growing up, age-wise, mental-wise, spiritual-wise. It's a difficult process, and I don't think as people that we ever stop growing. I think we have the ability, I'll say, to continue to grow up throughout our whole lives. And growing up, we think of it as, oh, you're going to grow up when you grow up. But I mean, growing up, elevating, going higher in yourself. And it's not always an easy process. You can think of it one way as going from, childhood to teenage world to young adulthood. That's all in and of itself, sometimes challenging. But even as an adult, we grow up, we have different moments in our lives where we are forced to face ourselves, to look at ourselves in the mirror and make a decision about who we are, who we want to be, who are we truly, and if we get to a point where we want to find out who we are, we can truly dig into ourselves and find our true selves. But sometimes we're so conditioned and so programmed by society, by our families, by whoever raised us, by the life circumstances that sometimes raise us. Sometimes it's not people that raise us, but life circumstances that raise us. And we're so conditioned and programmed by the things that have happened in our lives and how we were raised and what we were taught by those life lessons that we end up losing our true self. At a certain point in your life, you can make a decision to say, something doesn't feel right, something is off. I know I feel like who I am is not who I was taught to be. I feel like who I am is not what everybody has shown me I am, or what everybody else believes I am, or what everybody else thinks I am. And if you're open enough and you dare enough to find your true self, it opens up a whole new world for you, because it's a sense of freedom that you haven't felt before. It's a sense of freedom that you probably have been seeking for a long time. And sometimes it takes something traumatic, something sometimes usually painful to happen to make you face that reality that you've been living almost, I don't want to say a lie, but you've been living in a false reality. You've been living a life that you were taught to live. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being taught. I think the way that people raise their children nowadays, if they've chosen to, is a lot different than the way that maybe I was raised or the way that my parents were raised. Because often parents teach their children the way they were taught. They teach their children to be how they were taught to be. Instead of, I think as parents, our job is to guide a child to find themselves, not to mold and shape them into who you think they're supposed to be. So as an adult, it's like we have to break free from the mold that was made for us and find our own mold, find our own way. And that can be so difficult because you get used to doing things a certain way because that's how you were taught to do them. This is just the way that I was taught. This is the right way. This is what I'm supposed to believe. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it's almost like this fear to veer off into the unknown, because that fear was placed inside of us from a young age that if you don't do things a certain way, if you don't act a certain way, you're not going to be great. You're not going to accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish. You're not going to do what you're supposed to do. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to have money. You're not going to get a house. You're not going to be a successful human being. And that I see successful, like quote unquote successful, because everybody has their own idea of what they think successful is. Successful for me may not be successful for my daughter. For me, I have different talents. I can do different things. I ended up in the financial world, in the financial industry, but my true calling, my true passion, who I am, is to help people and to give advice and to be an ear for people and to listen to people's problems and help them through difficult and tough situations. That's who I am. That's who I was meant to be. But I also have other talents that I earn my money right now doing. But if I look at my daughter, she's completely different. She's a very artistic person. She has many, many talents. So I can't raise her to be me because she's not me. So as an adult, when I look back, or as you look back on your life and your situations, the things that you've gone through that have made you who you are, you have to ask yourself, why am I this way? You have to ask yourself, is the life I'm living really my life? Or is it the life that somebody else told me I'm supposed to have? Is it the life that somebody else picked for me? And if it is, and you find yourself saying, yeah, I've always just done what I was supposed to do, what society told me to do, what my parents told me to do, what my siblings told me to do. I went through a tough childhood. I had to raise myself. So I did what I had to do to make sure that I could survive. But you got so used to being in that survival mode and that survival mentality that you lost yourself along the way, and you never figured out who you really were because you were too busy trying to survive. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with surviving. There's nothing wrong with getting to a place in your life where you can finally ask yourself the question, who am I? Who am I really on the inside? What do I really want? What is really going to bring me true joy and contentment and satisfaction in my life? And sometimes you have to do both. You have to do the things that help you survive in life, and then you find your passion, you find who you truly are, and hopefully along the way those two worlds will end up colliding for you and end up integrating for you, and you can find a way to make who you truly are how you survive. Make your true self into your true life, becoming that person that you were truly meant to be. But it really takes some self-reflection and sometimes some seclusion. You have to go off by yourself into the world, and you might not physically be able to go off by yourself because you have children, because you have a spouse, a significant other, so you may not truly be able to go by yourself. But I encourage you to find moments every day for yourself and reflect on who you are. Do something to discover yourself, rediscover yourself again. It's all in those little things and in those little moments where you'll be able to discover who you are. You'll be able to figure out your new life path. And some of it may still be the things that you've always done. Some of you may discover, oh, this is what I truly love to do. That is who I truly am. But some of you might decide, I am a completely different person than everybody thinks I am. And that's okay, because it's not their life, it's yours. Some of us are so used to pleasing everybody else and making sure everybody else is okay and making sure that everybody and everything is taken care of, that we forget to take care of ourselves. That was me. I forget, I'm a person too. I have things that I'm supposed to be doing with my life, and I can't just take care of everybody else, because if I keep giving and giving and giving to everybody else, I don't have anything left inside to give if I don't build myself up at some point. If I don't take a few minutes each day for myself, if I don't take some time every now and then and go rent a hotel room and be by myself. There's nothing wrong with needing some alone time. But if you can find a moment in every day, 10, 15 minutes, some people may have an hour, depending, if you want to wake up early or stay up later because you just need that self-reflection time, that is key and crucial to becoming who you are supposed to be. Dive into the things that bring you true joy and contentment. If it's research and reading, do more of that. If it's playing a sport, do more of that. If it's exercising, do more of that. Find time to do the things that bring you pleasure, because in doing those things that bring you pleasure, you will discover who you truly are. You will find your true self, but you can't do that if you're always going. If you're continually doing those things that you're supposed to do to survive, those things that you were raised to do, those things that you were taught to do, you'll never take the time to figure out who you truly are, because we've become so used to the cycle, the repetitive cycle. You get used to, I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I cook dinner, I take care of the kids, I go to the gym, I go home, I watch a little TV, I go to bed, I wake up the next day and I do it all over again. Where in that is there time for you? Where? You say, well, how am I supposed to make time for me when I have all these other things that I'm supposed to do, and I have all these other responsibilities? I got to make money. I got to do this. I got to do that. I am telling you, it doesn't have to be long. Everybody should get a break at work. Take that 10-minute, 15-minute break and go outside and look up at the sun and just take in your surroundings. Go in your car, read a book for 10 minutes. Take a breather. Whatever it is that you have to do to find yourself, do it. Because it is important. Finding yourself and learning who you truly are is just as important as taking care of all those other things in your life. It's more important than taking care of all those other things in your life. Because at some point, if you don't take the time to do it, you will lose yourself. And you will become a miserable, unhappy person, because all you're doing is living every day for other people, every day for someone else. And that true joy that you've been seeking, that true contentment that you've been seeking, that freedom that you've been seeking, you won't find it because you don't take the time to find it. It might seem harsh at first. It might seem selfish at first. For those of you who aren't used to being a little bit selfish, it's okay to be a little bit selfish sometimes. You have to be selfish in order to find yourself. And trust me, the little bit of guilt feeling that you have sometimes when you take those few minutes for yourself, it starts to fade eventually. It starts to go away a little bit. Your family might give you a little guilt trip every now and then, look at you like, you're going to do that again? You need to lock yourself in your room again? Where are you going? What are you doing? I need this, I need that. But whatever you have to do to get those few minutes, and over time build that time up to rediscover yourself, it will make you a better person for them. It'll make you a better person for you. Those dreams, those thoughts that you've had that people might have told you were crazy, ridiculous in the past, like, you can't make a living doing that. You can't do that. Prove them wrong. Do what you were made to do. Do what you were created to do. Because all of us have talents, passions. We all have a true self on the inside that if we can dig through all of the layers of programmed and taught, things that people have taught us, that life has taught us, that I can't do that because I'll be disappointed. I can't do that because I might fail and I might lose this and I might lose that. There's alternative ways to do what you were meant to do. If you have somebody that you truly trust that knows who you are really on the inside, sit down with them. Ask them, what do you think I'm meant to do? Who do you really see me as? And how do you think I can become who I'm supposed to be fully? I think we all have a little piece that we know. We all have a little bit that we see about ourselves that we only let out every now and then. And if we can refocus our energy to letting that out more often, you'll find a joy and a peace that you never thought you could have before. But it's in taking time for it. It's in taking those moments for yourself that you will rediscover yourself, that you will find who you truly are. It's not about how my parents raised me. It's not about how society raised me. It's not about how people look and think they know me so well. It's not about that. Have you ever asked somebody, who do you think I am? And listen to their answer, and what you hear back, you think, that is just not even who I am. That's not me. I've done that. Like, that's not me. If that's who you think I am, there's something wrong, because that means I am not being true to myself, and I'm not showing everybody else who I truly am. And I think that was a point of reality for me. That was a moment of clarity where if people think this is who I am, I'm not showing them who I truly am. I'm too busy trying to be who they want me to be and who they taught me to be and who everybody else sees me as. I'm too busy trying to be that person that nobody knows who I truly am on the inside. So what can I do to show that and reflect that on the outside? What can I do to make that come out? And as you start asking yourself those questions, and as you start digging deeper into who you are and doing a little bit every day to show people who you truly are. And that might be hard for some people. Some people in your family may not be used to you sticking up for yourself. They may not be used to you speaking your opinion. They may not be used to you standing on your own 2 feet and doing what you want to do. And guess what? That's okay, because you are your own person. You are an individual. And you can't live the life that somebody else wants you to live forever. And if you need help trying to find your way out, find those people that are true to you, those people who truly love you. They may still have seen you as one way, but they probably see the true you as well. And if you tell them, look, this is the path I'm trying to go, I know you might not be used to it. I know you may not understand it, but I'm asking you to support me in this. I'm asking for your support to help me be able to discover myself, to help me find who I'm truly supposed to be. And if that person can be there to support you and help you along the way, then that's a true friend. That's somebody that truly cares about you and truly loves you, because it doesn't matter. It's not about them at that point. People who have a problem with it, people who don't know how to handle it, it's because everything in your life has been about them. And they're afraid to lose that control. They're afraid to lose that thing that they've held over you for so long. Because they were used to controlling you. They were used to you doing what they wanted you to do and manipulating you to be who they wanted you to be. Those are the people that are going to have a problem with you finding yourself. People who truly love you and want you to be your best true self and your greatest self will support you 100% and push you towards your greatness, no matter what it means for them. It could mean that you leave them behind. It could mean that you have to move away. It could mean that you have to do something that they don't agree with. But if they truly love and support you, they'll tell you to go for it. And because they do that, you guys will always be connected. No matter where you are, no matter the distance, no matter how far apart you are in today's day and age with technology, you can stay in touch with people from across the world. In a matter of seconds, you can be looking at their face on FaceTime, on WhatsApp, on all the different apps that they have that you can stay in communication and contact with people. Moving somewhere might not be your path. Your path might be as easy, as simple as taking a walk in the morning. Getting up 30 minutes earlier and taking a walk. Mom, where are you going? Hey, where are you going? I need my breakfast. Hey. I'll be right back. Take that walk. Take those 5 minutes. Take those 10 minutes. Go to the gym. Do your exercise. Do your reading. Do your research. Go back to school. Take that class. One class at a time. Whatever it is, invest in that company. Start to work on your business model. Start to work on the things that you truly desire. Do something every day to work towards being who you're truly meant to be. And you'll be surprised if you look back 5 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, how far you've come and how truly free you feel and how much more peace you have because you decided every day I'm going to take a little bit of time for myself. Every day I'm going to dedicate a little bit of time to growing up, to growing higher, to elevating my life, to elevating myself, and to finding out who I truly am. And if you can do that, I promise you, you'll have a joy inside of you that you've never experienced before. And if you end up losing people along the way, those people weren't meant to stay in the first place. They were meant to teach you a lesson. They were meant to teach you something about yourself, but not everybody can go with you into your future. Not everybody can go with you into who you're truly supposed to be, into what you're truly meant to be and created to be. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be anything really negative. It doesn't have to be anything really harsh where you end up moving on toward past somebody. But sometimes you just have to accept the fact that not everybody can go with you where you're meant to go. Finding your true self might end up meaning leaving the people who can't go with you behind. But I guarantee you will have more joy, more peace in your life if you can just take the time to rediscover who you are. Do whatever it takes to discover yourself. Find your true self. Not who everybody else thought you're supposed to be, who everybody else taught you to be. Nobody can tell you who you are but you. By digging deeper on the inside and self-reflection. Only that will give you the answer to who you are and give you the answer to living your best life that you could ever imagine. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Soulistic Healing. I really hope that these words have inspired you to start or continue on your path of true healing and becoming more of a whole and complete person. And if it has, that you'll make the choice to share it with someone else who you feel may benefit from these words. Have an amazing day, and remember to stay positive and keep a smile on your face no matter what's going on.